Okay, because I have some information for that group that you guys had the discussion on video.
Okay, perfect.
I'm going to do you guys a favor to add to what you were doing. And before I do that, because I know the track that I'm on, even though I do get distracted because I got a ton of things going on in this head of mine, what were you going to say, Mr. Pastor?
No, I told Eeon a long time ago when we first started talking, I said, I get the impression that you do your videos to purposely be annoying to get the people that ain't interested, that ain't real to go away. He said, that's exactly right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
And he talked to Fearless Floyd, and when he got off the phone with me and Fearless Floyd, Floyd said, oh my gosh, he's actually totally different on the phone. He is real smart.
Very sharp.
Oh, yeah, no.
On the phone, totally different ballgame.
Well, nobody understood Alex Jones when he said it's an act. It is an act.
Yep.
You can't be real because the people can't accept real.
Exactly.
And so I have to give people, Eeon is an image, Redress Right is an image.
Right.
Those are images, and each one of those, that's why Redress is not the same as Eeon. They don't even talk the same. It may be a similar voice, but they're two separate personalities. That's why I refer to Eeon is not doing any more videos for those people out there, because he is fed up with them.
Right.
Redress is used to dealing with them, and so he just decided, okay, fine, I'll come in and I'll help. All right, let me get to the information. I'm doing some things in the background on my computer because they keep hacking me. And what most people don't know, these are not hackers from China. They've been making us think that China, but they've been making us think that China's got like these warehouses with thousands of people in there just hacking. Please, these are not individuals sitting behind a bunch of computers hacking anyone. They have the stupid AI programs that does the hacking. They don't need to have people do it anymore.
The AI is trying to take over.
And so what's happening is that's who's causing me all the problems. That's who's hacking me. I apologize if you thought that I thought I was the only one.
No,
I'm sorry.
The other day I was on the DAT board, and the DAT board kept glitching, and then I would have to blind call brokers because I couldn't see none of the load information, and multiple brokers were saying this at the same time. Yeah, we don't know what's going on. Our system's having problems. I said, it ain't just your system.
But it is the AI. It is, and I've been trying to let people know, because most people they're attributing it to just some glitches, and I'm not saying you, but most people are attributing it to just some glitches. This is what they always do. No, they put that AI system in full effect in 2017, and they've been updating it, and now everybody's got their own AI system, and they're competing against each other.
Yep.
Okay, so since the different AI systems, okay.
Concept. I'm on Linux. I don't experience a tenth of what everyone else experiences.
I know about Linux.
With a phone?
No. He's on a Linux system, computer system, operating system.
Well, I know that. I'm saying Linux is talking about coming out with a phone.
Okay.
No. All right, so it's actually Canonical that's trying to come out with a phone. Linux itself is community-based. It's not a corporation.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying. It's a Linux-based phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now, how would my programs work on Linux?
Which programs do you need?
Voice recognition, the Windows, Microsoft Office, that type of stuff. See, I'm old school.
Run a sandbox and do the same thing.
Let's see. Do me a favor. Brian, give him my email address, and I want you to send me a list of your critical applications, and I will give you reference or direct access to some of the projects that are comparable or in function on.
Let me do you this. Eeon at eon.tv. Just send me a quick email asking me for that, and I will take care of that later, because if Brian sends it to me, I'll have to go and look at what he sends me, and then I'll have to go and create something else, whereas if you send it to me, I just have to hit reply.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm sorry, it's the way my
I'll
mind
have the
works. I got too many things going on, and so I will forget, and then that will be
no problem.
something that will never get done. But if I do it this way, then I can reply to the email.
It'll be two
All right.
years before he calls you and reaches out to you like he did me.
Oh yeah, well that's how
uh,
things work. Now look, let me go ahead and tell you guys what's
go
going
ahead.
on with the video and what was mentioned, and I'm going to give it to you because I haven't even done it yet. I called up several people, including Brian yesterday. Brian, I didn't have the full concept when I called you, but I called up
Yeah.
some people only to tell them one thing, to say, hey, my mind works like this. I can't do this by myself because that's selfishness to me. I have to do it with somebody else. I have to share this with someone else first before I do it, because if I do it just simply for me, I'm not a selfish person. I won't allow myself to be selfish. I said, my mind won't let me do it. I have to share it. So I called these people up. They didn't answer. They couldn't realize, wait, he doesn't normally call me at this hour. Something must be up. They didn't, well, I can't
Right.
talk right now. No text message, no nothing. They just let it go to voicemail. So they missed out.
Hmm.
Really just that
Okay.
simple. However, one person did pick up. And I told her,
Me.
no, God, no. Uh, it was Sandy. And when Sandy picked up, she's the CEO of SAA. By the way, we're going to take all the arbitration
Okay.
awards and we're going to convert the arbitration awards into indentured bonds. Now, when I say we're going to do bonds, but because you guys were talking about indenture, I'm going to say indentured bonds. Why? Because you'll understand indentured bonds. So we're going to convert all of them to
Right.
non-registrable security indentured bonds because these bonds don't need to be registered.
Right.
Everybody said, well, how do I get my arbitration award confirmed? You take it and you write off the amount. It's a debt. Write it off and then create your bond.
That's
Make
it.
your arbitration award into a bond and use the asset, the forgiven debt, to secure the bond.
Right.
People
Right.
can't understand the language. The language is simple. Getting to
Yep.
your group and what they were talking about,
Hmm.
you guys, I don't think you've taken a good look at Section 412 of Title 12. You have the application
Okay.
part correct. There has to be an application. You cannot have a security without an application. You cannot have a bond without an application. You cannot have a loan without an application. Applications are
Yeah.
absolutely 100% necessary. And because applications are necessary, that's the application section that's talked about
Hmm.
in the Federal Reserve Act of March 9, 1933. That is what Title 12, Section 411 to 419, that's the Trading with the Enemy Act. But that specifically is talking about the application that you guys were talking about, and you need to understand that application process because now you can get your loans, now you can get your homes, now you can get your cars when you do it right. As I told Brian, you guys are a little bit more ahead than most of the groups that I talk to and that I hear about, that I speak to. So I'm giving that information to you guys because I know that it will speed up a whole lot of your process and you will realize that, man, you were missing a piece and this will be one of the pieces you were missing. So I don't know
Okay.
if you've gone over 4112. I don't know if you looked at it from this angle, but look up what a bank is. Now, I didn't say what a Federal Reserve Bank is. I said what a bank is. Under Presidential Proclamation 2039, a banking institution is anyone who engages in the business of banking.
That includes
Any
Right.
us.
form of banking business. Go ahead,
Hmm.
Brian.
I said that includes us.
Yes. No, well, see, that's the point. So when you look up the 412 under Cornell Law Review and then click on each one of the links under Cornell Law Review,
How about
okay?
under the credits?
No, not under the credits. The links within 412. The first
Oh,
link
the
you're going to get
definition.
Right.
to
Yeah.
is Federal Reserve. Well, no, because some of them are actual links to other sections of the code.
Okay.
So each one that's in that paragraph, look them up, understand why they are there. They're there for a reason. Trust me, they're there for a reason because it's showing you the process. This is what the banks do.
Hmm.
But when you realize that according to the law, we are banks, then why aren't we doing this? because people simply don't know. They don't know
Right.
how to read it. But your group, the young man, what's his name, are you guys the group known Zodiac, or is he Zodiac? I mean, no, Zadok. Excuse me.
So Doc.
Zadok.
Yeah.
I said Zodiac. I apologize. Zadok. Zadok was, he was a priest under David and under Solomon. So I know where Zadok comes from. So that's why I said Zodiac, because that was the first thing that came to my head when I saw it. But yes, I remember it was Zadok.
Right.
He has a comprehension of code, how to read it. He'll be able to read that and get it. When you go under Federal Reserve, you'll see it's going to say all kind of things. It's going to take you to section 221A, but the first thing it tells you to go to 221. So skip 221A and go directly to 221 and see that it lists any bank as under that definition of bank, including Federal Reserve Bank. But remember, the link says Federal Reserve Bank. It says any Federal Reserve Bank. So anytime you see any Federal Reserve Bank, it's general. It's not specific. So it doesn't mean the Federal Reserve. It means all those other banks that are listed. You'll see that that's what the definition says, which includes you. Everybody's been ignoring it because they were thinking that it was just talking about those Federal Reserve 12 membered banks and membered banks of the Federal Reserve. But however, when it used the phrase membered banks, it includes any bank. And that's what the definition is going to tell you. So that code was written for us, but we're not using it.
Hey, now take that understanding. It says under the new law, the money is issued to the banks in exchange for government obligations, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but that's the section that I am telling you, 412. That's that section right there in the code. What you just read, the money is issued to the banks. Well, this is application for Federal Reserve notes. This is making an application for Federal Reserve notes. So every time you do an application for a loan, you're making an application for Federal Reserve notes because they take it to the membered bank or the agent who goes to the Federal Reserve, gets the money. And what they do is they create an account. They deposit the money into the account and make it look like they're giving you a loan when they've already received the loan. They just never credited you for them receiving the loan.
Right.
Okay, because you're not borrowing from the government. They're not borrowing from the government. They're doing an exchange. They're taking your note and exchanging it. Do you know what a collateral security is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let me ask the question. What is a collateral security?
Oh boy, the financial definition.
Yes.
Hold on.
Well, no, just go to section 412. It tells you a collateral security is notes, bonds, drafts, bills of exchange, bankers' acceptances.
Yeah.
Okay, the exact same thing.
Offered for the said credit facility. Yeah.
Okay, but when it says collateral security in 412, it's talking about the Act of March 9, 1933 and the amendment to the Federal Reserve Act of March 9, 1933. It's talking about the Trading with the Enemy Act. Right. Now, why are we enemies of the United States? Why?
That making the government in bad shape and not doing the proper paperwork?
Well, yeah, we're creating debts. Every time we fill out an application, we're creating a debt. Why? Because we're not offsetting it. We're using the cash method and not the accrual method. By not using the accrual method and offsetting that debt, we are damaging the country. So individuals should be offsetting the debt through the 1099A, 1099C. That's why they created the stupid forms. Remember, there is no reason for the IRS to have a cancellation of debt form. What purpose should the IRS have a cancellation of debt form? It serves no purpose in finance for a debt collector to have a cancellation of debt form for anybody to fill out and no specific instructions, only this person or that person, only under this circumstance or that circumstance may this form be used. It doesn't say that nowhere in the instructions. We are supposed to be canceling the debt because there is no money. So why are we letting something that doesn't exist just linger there? So we're causing problems. We're interfering with the finances. That's our fault.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of
So
that's the approach
because
I've been saying.
is that so? Basically, I'm hearing this as we're not understanding what the accounting is.
We're definitely not understanding what the accounting. They're using the accrual method.
Yeah.
They're not
Right.
using debts.
Because
They
the
don't.
accounting
The accounting method doesn't understand what a
requires
debt is.
balance. Right.
Well, let me
No,
let me
the
let me
accounting
let me break.
requires zeroing out. Doesn't require there to be a
Yes.
balance. There can't be a balance.
Zero is the balance.
Zero
Yeah.
is the balance, so it cancels itself out. It's an
Right.
offset.
Right.
We are not
Yes.
getting that as people. We are, well, you owe me this. Nobody owes anybody anything. There is no money. There is
Right.
no money. You can't owe anything.
Let me ask you this: you've been seeing this stuff being talked about the W-4 process, right?
W-4 sandwich, yeah.
Yeah. I think it has some reasonable merits, but I have a little different thought process. And I bring up the example of what my dad does. My dad's been self-employed all my life, and he does installation work. Well, when he was doing the installation with the box stores, Sears, Home Depot, Lowe's, at the end of the year they would issue him a 1099. Now, the 1099, all they're really telling the IRS is we gave this much credit to Piedmont Installations. Because 3% of the global supply is cash. All the rest is book entry credits. Okay? So they gave this much credit to this company. Why are we not issuing a 1099 to the Treasury saying, hey, we issued this much credit to this company?
Yeah, that's the same thing you just said.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying
That's the exact same thing.
instead of, well, when he says the accrual method, he's talking about what is it, the 1040 Schedule C?
No,
Instead of
I'm
the
talking
Schedule
about
C.
I'm talking about the accrual method, not a form, not a form. Accrual method is an accounting
It's
method.
the
It's
way
GAAP.
you add
Yeah,
things up.
okay.
Yeah,
It's the way
GAAP.
you add things up.
Yeah. So I say if you take the role of absolute trustee, you send it to the Treasury. The Treasury then can balance the book. So instead of doing a W-4, it's either going to be a 1099 miscellaneous or a 1099 non-employee compensation. Now
Well,
that I haven't nailed down which one of those
I'm
three it
gonna
is.
let you focus on the 1099. However, I am not coming from that aspect of things. I am just saying it just needs to be offset because we're creating damage. We're causing damage to the United States. So I'm saying we're still under the Trading with the Enemy Act. That's what I'm mentioning.
I understand what you're saying, but in my mind, if they are the experts, they're the ones that have to balance the book, then you just send them the paperwork so they can.
Well, okay, but what I'm trying to highlight is the fact that that's the exact point. There are books. They're using debits and credits. They're not doing debt. We are the morons who are using the debt-based system. And that's what's creating the problem. And we are causing damage because we don't understand that there are no debts anymore. United States have become the obligor of all debts. We're supposed to be helping government offset its debt, but what we're doing is we're causing damage because we keep creating more and more debt. So if we can do the offset of every debt that we create, then that works for us. Now, your people with the application, understanding that there must be an application, go under 412, create the application, create the collateral security, and apply for your Federal Reserve notes so that you can do the car, do the home. What I'm trying to say in a nutshell, take that information that I just gave you and apply it to, I want to go buy a car tomorrow. So go online, get yourself an application, Get your car,
Right.
but follow the law.
Of course.
Tell
Right.
your group,
Right there. Yeah.
only because I listened to that do I give you guys that information.
I
Equal
appreciate it.
exchange.
Huh?
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
You said what changed? This is what I told you to tell them yesterday.
I was actually
Oh,
called him yesterday. He said, "Let's talk in the
he did.
morning."
Yeah.
Yeah. I was on the phone when he had called. I didn't
Okay.
realize.
Yeah, see, what happened is, while listening to it, what I'm listening for are people. My job is to fill in everybody's blanks. I don't study this information. I just know what I know. That's all I can
I
tell
got
you
it.
is I just know it. And then
Right.
when people go and they check it out, oh no, that's here and that's here, and oh no, you can find that there. They don't even have to tell me. I already know it exists because I couldn't have the idea. What did Solomon say? There's nothing new under the sun.
Under the sun.
Under the sun.
So I
That's right.
couldn't have the
Nothing.
idea unless it already existed.